I'm Dr. Greg Emerson, and I've enjoyed life as a professional basketball player, traveller, dive instructor and ER physician. I've now found my passion in preventative medicine, where my mission is to provide people the knowledge, discipline and encouragement to achieve optimal health, energy and personal growth in life. I believe that a few universal laws apply when it comes to health. The aim of these documentaries is to show that healthy eating can not only be fun and easy, but allows an energy and vitality to truly experience life. They allow us to both live long and live wide. In this episode, we head to Niseko, Japan. Japan is a fascinating archipelago of nearly 7,000 islands, and Niseko is located on Hokkaido, one of the northern islands. The name Niseko means a cliff jutting over a riverbank deep in the mountains. The town is dominated by the impressive Mount Yotei, and on a clear day, you can see right across the Sea of Japan to Russia. The Japanese people are well known for their devotion to healthy eating and exercise. Part of my program for optimal health involves nutrition. Food is an imperative part of both health and recovery from illness. In my opinion, healthy nutrition means becoming a fan of dining out, where food is fungicidal, high in antioxidants, nutritionally dense, organic, unprocessed, and traditional. In this short film, I'll have a look at how many of the local Japanese have remained faithful to this way of eating. Tonight, as usual, I've met my good friend Rick Lee, Dr. Rick Lee, who's an expert in all things Asian cuisine, and he's going to take us through an Asian hot pot experience that we're going to enjoy tonight and have a look at again with the healthy foods. We've got the healthy protein, the healthy vegetables. We don't have a lot of sugar or starchy carbohydrates, so it's a phase 1 diet, which what I recommend because it's fungicidal, it's antioxidant, it's nutritionally dense, which is what my eating program is all about. So Rick, why don't you take us through and start us on this process of eating this fantastic food?
Sure, Greg. So what we have here is some soup broth, very, very spicy and mild.
And why is it this S shape?
Well, this S shape actually represents the yin and the yang, a balance between male and female. So the male would be the hot, spicy sauce, and the female would be the more milder sauce.
Okay, good. Okay. All right, sounds good. So how do we go about making this?
Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to add your vegetables, and here we have some white radish, some spinach, some Chinese cabbage, some bok choy, until it cooks. And then you'd add your meat dishes here, and we have some beef sirloin and some lamb tonight.
And as you can see, there's the meat is grass-fed in Japan, and it's got lots of fat inside it. The fat, again, very important, nutrient dense, gives you a lot of energy. That's where you get your energy from. You've got to teach your body to be able to burn fat for energy rather than sugar. Okay, Rick, take us through this and start us off because I'm starving.
We're going to start here
Let's
then.
Get going.
Okay. So because the vegetables take longer to cook, you actually, in fact, put them in first. And I'll even put some on the hot side because, Greg, I know you're very, very manly, so we got to the man side. And after a few minutes, once the vegetables are cooked, you then put in the beef, which cooks very, very quickly, and the lamb. And typically after you're done, after you eat your vegetables and your meat, you then take the broth that's created from stewing the vegetables and the beef and drink that as a soup. Hey Greg, so our vegetables are cooked, the water is boiling, the broth is boiling, so now it's time to add the meat. So why don't you do the lamb and I'll do the beef. Yeah. And put just a couple pieces on at a time. And it doesn't take very long to cook, and as I said, as soon as it's brown, then we eat it. When we want some more, we'll put some more in. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
Excellent.
And of course, broth being one of the essential foods, it's always a good idea if you've got bones or meat left over to boil it with some vegetables for hours. It's nature's multivitamin and mineral. It's used by traditional populations for thousands of years to get their multivitamins and minerals. That's where we should still be getting from now, because nature, when you've got bone broth, nature gives you all the cofactors that you need in the food and in the vitamins to make them work. If you take them in isolation, they don't work nearly as well. So traditional populations have been doing this for thousands of years to get their minerals and their nutrient-dense food they need.
I can hardly wait.
Okay, Rick, well let's start off with a spicy one first.
Okay,
Seeing as the
good
male
luck.
one. Thank you very much, let's try it. Oh. It's very, very spicy. It's a very masculine dish, that one.
Yeah, it's a bit spicy.
Good to see you again, Rick.
Hey, great. How
What
you
have
doing?
you got planned for us tonight?
Well, tonight we're going to a very traditional Japanese sushi restaurant called Torimatsu.
Torimatsu.
Kuchen.
All right, what's this place famous for?
Well, I'll tell you, it's famous for very, very bizarre and, let's say, non-Western types of Japanese food, but
So we're
traditional Japanese
We're going to be
food.
trying real traditional Japanese stuff.
Well, you're going to try something I guarantee you've never had before. How about that?
All right, I'm up for that. Let's go.
give it a try.
Ego ga wakarimasu ka? Ego ga wakarimasu ka? Ego ga.
No speak English.
日本語はすいません。
少し。日本語が少し。Okay, Rick, well, we've got our first dish. What have we got here?
Well, Greg, we've actually got something called tako, which means octopus in Japanese. This is raw octopus that's pickled in some vinegar and some hot spices with a few cucumbers in it.
I've noticed that Japanese people, and Asian people in particular, don't eat a lot of sugar in their diets. Is that right?
No, you're absolutely right, actually. In fact, even after the meal, you notice when they bring dessert, it might be a piece of fruit. You wouldn't really have cake or pie or anything like that. You're absolutely right.
The good thing about that is that minimizing sugar in the diet stops yeast overgrowth. All of us have indolent yeast, or yeast which isn't growing in the body, and when you eat a lot of sugar, the sugar provides the ideal environment for the yeast to grow. Now the problem with that is that when the yeast starts to grow, it starts to demand sugar, so you start to get sugar cravings. The next thing that happens is that the yeast secretes mycotoxins, and those mycotoxins are fungal poisons, and they reduce your immune system. They deplete your immune system, and you therefore get more infections. So you might get other viral infections or other bacterial infections. In fact, cyclosporin, which is the drug that we use to stop our immune systems rejecting transplanted organs, is actually a mycotoxin. So yeast, when it gets established in the body, not only gives you sugar cravings, which encourages further growth of the yeast, and then depletes your immune system, which makes it a lot harder for you to get rid of the yeast once it's in your body. So it has various techniques. It's a very, very intelligent organism to maximise its chances of survival in your body. That's another really good reason to make sure you don't eat a lot of sugar or refined carbohydrates, refined starches in your diet, and eat a largely phase 1 diet based around good healthy fats, good healthy vegetables, good healthy proteins.